Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. I wanted to do a special announcement because I want to do this read-along event. If you guys are interested, I'm going to do it myself, but I thought maybe we could make it a group activity for anyone. So next month, so in August, I'm planning to focus on some graphic novels. I have found out that I really enjoy nonfiction graphic memoirs as a separate category or genre that I really enjoy. But I've also read a lot of just nonfiction in general. And what I really like about it is it gives you a glimpse, much easier, quicker, but you can almost get even more detailed in a shorter amount of time of events that you might have not heard of before or be unfamiliar with, to kind of dip your toes into nonfiction if you're not used to that genre, or experience graphic novels, knowing that you can get some rich history out of it if you're not into regular comic books and like the Marvel DC type of thing. So it's kind of a way for you to explore this media and see if you like it. But if you do find out that you like the graphic memoirs or nonfiction graphic novels, or even ones that are historical fiction inspired by real events, but fictionalized and stuff. These are all different ways for you to explore nonfiction if you're not used to or not familiar with reading nonfiction, and a way that it's before Nonfiction November. So if you do find a topic that you explore this way, you can further explore or do a deeper dive in different topics and stuff when November comes, or any time if you want to start exploring nonfiction. But I thought it would be a great thing to do in the summer. A lot of us are dealing with the heat and heat related things, which makes it a lot harder to concentrate sometimes when for me, I usually read a lot, and I've been kind of seeing the distraction or my mind pulling away just because I don't have the brain capacity to process when it is so hot here. So I thought this would be kind of a great way to still be reading and participating within the community, but in a way that I feel is a bit more plausible for me particularly, and I thought maybe I could share that with you and enjoy it. So what I'm doing is I'm just calling it, I'm horrible at titles, which is why all of my thumbnails and titles are for my channel are awful. But I was just going to do a community reading challenge or tag, graphic August. So you can read any kind of graphic novels, but I am focusing on nonfiction or historical fiction ones. So I'm going to share with you the ones that I have to kind of choose from, maybe give you some ideas. Maybe we can do a group read of one of them or something together. But I wanted to just start some of them that I have already read that made me fall in love with the genre are Tessa Hull's Feeding Ghosts. And this is a family history about China and a mother, a daughter, her mother, and her grandmother, and she's trying to reconnect with her mother, but trying to understand her grandmother's mental illness. And you get that exploration as she goes through the greater history of Japan, but the specific family history, China, but the specific family history of China, and their leaving China and coming to the United States and stuff as well. So what's really fun about reading graphic novels and stuff, you can get some that are really beautiful in color, and then you can just get some that are in black and white. It's completely up to you. This one is in black and white, and it uses the art form to show like the horrors and stuff. So there's some really like remarkable storytelling right within the art that adds to the depth of the story that I don't think that you get all the time when you're just reading a regular memoir. So I was hoping that maybe you would be interested in something like that. Another one that I read last year and really loved was Heavyweight. And this one is by Solomon J. Brager, Roger. And so this one is also in black and white, but this one tells the story of, so it's a family story of Holocaust, empire, and memory. And it's so the author, Solomon, is trying to learn more about the Jewish grandfather who was a heavyweight boxer, and in doing so explores the Holocaust as a whole, the empire of Germany as a whole, and how it was conducive to allowing the Holocaust to happen. So he goes back way in time prior to the events of World War II and the Holocaust to try to understand the plight of the Jews and the rise of fascism within his grandfather's country. So you get a whole lot of great in-depth history just as he tries to uncover the world of his family. Another one, and I don't have it with me, but I'll use this one as a bookmark or a placemaker, I guess. So this one is another one by George Takei, but he wrote one called They Called Us Enemy, and it was about his family's time in the Japanese internment camps in the United States during World War II. And so that one was a wonderfully well-told story. You get the back history of what those camps were like, and then like also his life a little bit before going into it, and then his life after the camps. And that one's in color, and that one was I really enjoyed it. So when I found out this one came out, I wanted to get it. And this one is called It Rhymes with Decay. And it's his story because he is a gay man. And this he was on Star Trek. So this is his life story. So it's a memoir through art. And so he talks about what it was like working on in Hollywood, the AIDS epidemic that killed a lot of his friends in the early 80s. And his life as an activist trying to fight for LGBT rights, and just his family history and stuff. So I'm pretty sure that it would start. So so it does have him in the internment camps. So you get a bit of that, but you get the full through line in his life experience and stuff. So this is one that was on my list. I didn't get through. I wanted to try to get to it for Pride Month in June, but then when I decided I wanted to do this event, I decided to save it and just focus on other things. So I do have that one. Try to separate these. I still haven't read Persepolis, and this is the story of a childhood, and I believe it is in Iran. Yes. So the Iranian Revolution, which I've read a lot of stuff about that recently, but I'm interested in doing that graphic novel by a memoir form of this. So that one is an option. I'm going to read all of these eventually, but I want to see what ones I make it through in August and see if there's any that you would like to group read if you have access to them or interest in any of them. The next one is, this is a complete trilogy, March. So this is the civil rights movement here in the United States. And so it's the basically, you have the bus boycotts, and then you have the march, and so it's following John Lewis, who was a congressman, but also a civil rights activist during this time, and so it's his story, but the overall civil rights movement within his story. The Best We Could Do, and this is by Ty Boy, and this is a memoir as well, and it was illustrated by the author, and I want to make sure I'm getting the correct, so it's their family fleeing from war-torn Vietnam, and their trip as they immigrate to, I believe it would have been the United States for this as well, but it takes place during the 70s, and it's her family's life and struggle. And so sometimes they have black and white, sometimes they have muted color, which is also very much part of the story, as it basically mood setter influences how you view the story, and then you get some that are full color. So I love that you can play even within the medium itself. You can play in all kinds of different ways with art. I absolutely love beautiful full color art, but the other kind has been growing on me as I'm getting more and more into this type of storytelling. The next one is We Are Pan, and I'm trying to find out the authors on here because it just has last names. So there's Andre R. Fratino, Yasmin Flores Montanez, and Fabi Marquez. And so this is the story of 4 teens during the revolution in Cuba. And so this is in 1958, but it talks about how the United States tried to essentially take kids from communist Cuba and take them and adopt them out here, trying to stop the growth of communism by influencing the children, very much like trying to destroy indigenous cultures by stealing their children and Christianizing them. So I was not aware that we also did that to the Cubans. So this will be one that I for sure get to for this month. This month being for August. And then I showed this one before, but this is Ginseng Roots. It's another memoir, and this is by Craig Thompson. And so this is about the ginseng trade, but specifically rural Wisconsin farms where the children are essentially forced to work in these fields to further the capitalistic selling and stuff of ginseng, but you get the whole rich backstory, hundreds of years of ginseng as something that was wanted by people, and so it's the global trade, 300 years worth of history. And then the other ones that I have that I'm just going to show, I hope to get to some of these, are more fictionalized, or so nonfiction, or historical fiction books about real events, but obviously fictionalized. So this is Mouse. I finally want to read this. It's I got both volumes here. It's by R. Spielman, and it's a Holocaust story. So you have the mice are the Jews in the concentration camps. And so you get his family's story here. And maybe that wouldn't be considered fictionalized, but I did it just because, mice, instead of the actual people being mentioned. Another one that I want to finally get to is Grass by Kim Suk Gendry Kim. And this is about the comfort women during the wars, and I know that this was like the Korean slavery of the girls who were sent to the soldiers' quarters during the Japanese invasion, and were then made to basically be at their whims when it came to their sexual desires. So sexual slavery of these young girls in Korea. So none of these are light reads by any means, but I feel like that's what works well with this type of storytelling is you can show pictures instead of having the author have to fully revisit and describe in detail some of this traumatic events that they endured. So we get this visual representation that should be a gut punch to us because it's such a horrific story, but it is saving them from having to discuss it in full detail. So it kind of, in a way, is the best of both worlds while telling something so brutal. It's almost like I talked recently about Beloved and how you're getting this really tragic story, but with like very lyrical and beautiful prose. I feel like the art does that. It almost juxtaposes. It's a juxtaposition of the horrors with beautiful art and really sparse storytelling in a way that I feel makes the story more visceral and impactful. And I think that's why I enjoy it so much. If you follow my channel, you know that I don't read light literature anyway. So obviously my graphic novels aren't going to be any different. But this is just another way to kind of dip your toes and kind of learn something more broadly in a way that is maybe a little bit more palatable for you, to still get the feeling that you're supposed to be getting, but not completely destroy you, hopefully. And the last ones are I do have two editions, or two volumes. Barefoot Jen, volume 1 and 2, and this is the aftermath of the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I believe these are Hiroshima particularly, yep. And so it's all the kids that were orphaned due to the bombs, and what their how they survive afterwards in this world of theirs that is not existent anymore, and their loneliness and devastation of not just losing their family, but losing their whole way of life, and not knowing what to do, but finding a little bit of comfort amongst themselves as they create this generation of children who come together to try to survive this tragedy. So I do have the first two volumes here, but those are the ones that are on my list. I'm going to eventually get to them. I don't know how many I'll get to, but at least I'm giving myself the opportunity to focus on them in August, and knowing that with it being so hot and humid here, if I can't fully concentrate, I can just read, a chapter or two at a time, and get through a few of these. So if there's any way any of you want to participate, I would like to make this a event where a bunch of us are reading at least some form of graphic novel, even if you just read one, and just use this tag to participate so that we can see what each other is reading and see how those of you who are new to this type of media, whether you enjoyed it or not, whether you want to continue with it or not, and I just would like to have that conversation and exploration with you. So please join me in this and let me know what you would like to read. If any of these were on your list and you would like to read it together, or if you just have your own idea of one, and please share it with me so I can add it to my list next time if it's something that I'm interested in. I would love to hear. So as always, thank you for watching and happy reading.